help me stay on track. So limiting beliefs, negative thoughts, those. How many of you guys have heard of those things? Okay. Do you know what those are? Now I do want feedback. We're not going to be rah-rah, but I do want you to talk back. It's like talk with me here. Play along. So how many of you guys know what limiting beliefs and negative self-talk and those kind of things? You're familiar with that? Does anybody struggle with that? Okay. Does anybody realize that you struggle with it specifically with money?
Yes.
Yeah? Because I'll tell you what I didn't. I had no idea that I was struggling with negative self-talk about money. I'm like, okay, like I'm doing the whole thing. I'm all about, embodied grace and breaking through and self-worth and knowing that you're valuable and knowing that you have work, but I didn't realize that it was getting into my money story. So, money story. Has anybody thought about their money story? If I asked you, who are you? What are you about? Would you throw anything in there about money? What would you talk about? About you, maybe your family, if you're married, if you have kids, what you do for a living, right? So that's normal. That's the kind of stuff that we've been through. We talk about, we know that's kind of part of who we are, right? Those kind of limiting beliefs are pretty easy to notice and figure out when you really start paying attention to and being conscious of what your story is about who you are, right? So money story, I had never heard that. Like, what does that mean? And then I ran across this phrase, and it was called poverty consciousness. I thought, well, how stupid is that? Who's going to want to be in poverty consciousness? And then I went, oh, shoot. I'm in poverty consciousness. Didn't even know what it was, I'd never heard it. But after doing all the limiting beliefs and really working on myself and becoming more aware of how valuable I was as a person, energetically, everything is the same. So, energy is energy. We're energy. The table's energy. Our thoughts are energy. Our love is energy. Everything that we do is energy, right? So it makes sense that money is energy. So, your money story is what you tell yourself about money. Does anybody off the top of their head, are you recognizing a money story right now? Yeah. Does anybody want to share, like right now, what your money story is? Okay. Cool. Go ahead, Kathy.
Well, I've just recently made myself aware of this, I guess, because when we were growing up, there was 4 of us kids, and it was always like, you'd always hear, well, we don't have enough money for that. We don't have enough money for that. And I feel like I brought that into my adult life and had this attitude, there's never enough.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Do you see that in your business?
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Suzanne?
I have these phrases in my head that I was brought up with. Money doesn't grow on trees, right? And what was the other one? It was really interesting. What was that?
Go ahead. What was
I would hear my parents.
I'm not made out of money. That's
Yeah.
where it was. I'm not made out of money.
Right.
You can't afford that.
You can't afford it. Tara?
Mine's the opposite. I know how to make money, but it's the monkey's paw. It's that story. Like, I made $100,000 a year the first year I was a realtor, but I hated everything about it. I make a lot of money right now, but it's not doing what I want to do, and so that's why I'm so focused on it.
And that's perfect, because today is all about bringing everything about who you are and blending it all together. So that's awesome. I mean, and that's good too. So the money stories can be either or. They can either be, that you don't have enough money, or maybe you did have enough money, but it just doesn't feel good, or you've never even thought about it because you just knew you were going to have money. So, it can be either way. It doesn't always have to be negative. It can be either way. But a lot of times, either way, whether you have enough or you don't have enough, we really don't talk about it, and we really don't even think about it, right? So for those of us that are more in that poverty consciousness, which I was, it's really, really, like when you start thinking, at first I was kind of upset, and then I was like, oh wait, that means I can do something about it, right? So the great thing is, if you're not where you want to be in your business, and you're not bringing in the kind of money you want to bring in your business, the great thing is you can do something about it. So just to give you a little bit of my personal history on poverty consciousness, before I knew what it was, we grew up, small town, nobody had any money, that was the story, right? Nobody had any money. My mom was single. We heard all the time that there's never enough. Well, and it wasn't even that there was never enough. It was, as long as we have enough money to buy a gallon of milk, we'll be fine. Now that I'm looking at this, I'm like, oh my God, why didn't we say if we had more than enough money for a gallon of milk, right? Just that little shift would have made a huge difference. But that's how we were raised. And it's not that we've ever felt unwanted or uncared for or anything like that. So it wasn't, like, luckily I'm not in that really big poverty story, right? I'm in the, just as long as we have enough money for milk, we'll be fine. As long as we can pay the bills, we'll be fine. All that kind of stuff. So not realizing that that was my programming. I get married, I have kids, I'm balancing my own checkbook, freaking out if my husband's gonna get a full paycheck, all those kind of things, because that's what I was used to. Everybody that I was around, everybody that I knew, it was a paycheck to paycheck kind of thing, which isn't bad. That's how most people live, and that's okay. But when I found out I could do something about it, I'm like, oh my God, I want the whole world to know. If you can change your emotions, you can change your checkbook. So that's what my talk is on. And I have, in the folders, there's going to be a little checklist as we go through. And so you guys can use the worksheet. I really like worksheets because you can look at it, you can see it, you can write it, because there's something about writing stuff out that gets to your brain that makes it really, really good. So in that thing, it's just, what is poverty consciousness and how does that affect you? The biggest thing is that I realized that the limiting beliefs that I had about my own self-worth were it was the same kind of energy that I was putting into my money story. And so the great thing is you can change that. You can change your money story. So one of the first ways to start that, Louise Hay, are you guys familiar with Louise Hay?
Oh, yeah.
She's all about like affirmations and being grateful and being in gratitude and things like that. And she talked about, and I don't remember where I heard it, it was a few years ago, but I started playing around with it. She's like, be thankful when you write your bills, okay? So, be in gratitude. And I can remember I did this myself without even realizing what I was doing energetically to my financial abundance. I was writing out the check going, oh God, please just let me balance. Please just let me have enough. Please just let me pay the bills, right? So that's what he need. He let me pay my bills. That was it. Right? So what if I would have been saying, oh God, please let me have enough. Please let me have enough. I learned how to shift it with Louise Hay, and I learned to say, thank you every time I wrote out a check. So if I went to write out the electric bill, I would put myself in gratitude, and I would thank the electric company for giving me the electricity before I pay the bill, and then I would thank the money that I had to pay the electricity so that I had electricity. So it's this big circle of flow, right? The electricity's coming in, and I'm paying the bill, and the electricity's coming in. It's a big flow, so it's all energetic. So then I started putting in that I was so grateful for everything. Now, those of you that have heard me talk, you know whenever I say you're overwhelmed, stop. If you're overwhelmed, it doesn't matter what it is, you stop right then and there, get yourself centered, take a deep breath, refocus, and bring yourself in. So I'm telling you guys right now, no matter what you're doing, if you feel yourself overwhelmed and you're getting that, oh my God, I don't have enough time, or oh my God, I don't have enough money, or any of those kind of things that we usually, because we all think those. Do we all think those, or is it just me? Okay, I'm like, is it just me? Because if it's just me, then I won't talk about it. But no, I think as women, we all kind of do that, right? Because we have kids, and we have husbands, and we have this, and we have that, and we have to do laundry, we have all these things that we've got to do. So anytime with anything, not just money, but anytime you feel completely overwhelmed, that's when I'll tell everybody, it doesn't sound like it makes any sense. It seems completely backwards because you're like, but I got all kinds of stuff to do. I don't have time to meditate. I'm telling you. Stop. That is exactly when you need to meditate. When you're in that space of, oh my God, I can't do this, I'm overwhelmed. That's exactly, it doesn't have to be 25, 30 minutes. It can be 2 minutes. Take that little break, center yourself, calm yourself down, go back at it from a state of grace. Okay? So that being said, the same thing with your checkbook. If you're in the middle of doing bills or paying for paying your budget for your company, whatever it is that you're doing, if you find yourself in a place that's not in gratitude, or if you start catching yourself falling into that lack of, oh shit, I can't pay for this, you know what I mean? Like anytime, if you think that, stop. Don't put any more of that energy in your checkbook or on the computer, because most of everything is computerized, right? So I still like the paper checkbook. I still like to do paper, and I like to balance my checkbook on paper, even though everything's paid online. So stop and go get a cup of coffee, get a drink of water, whatever. Get a glass of wine. I don't care if you can do numbers with wine, great. Like, do whatever you need to do. But calm yourself down, get back into a state of grace and gratitude, and then go back to the bills. Don't put that energy into your money until you can be in that place of gratitude. When you can recenter, then you can do it with the place of gratitude, and you'll be amazed just by doing that how much it'll make a difference, okay? So the other thing that I want to talk about is affirmations about money, right? Because is everybody familiar with affirmations? Do we all use affirmations? You know, positive thinking, affirmations, all those things are really big right now. It's really trendy, right? So the only thing that I want, and this is my personal take on affirmations. I love affirmations. I think everybody should have some kind of affirmation to help them stay centered, help them get to the next level, help them understand their self-worth. But don't say, I'm a millionaire, if you have 12 cents in your bank. And why is that? How's that going to feel in your body?
Never get there.
Yeah, right? So like energetically in your body, it's going to reject that affirmation. There's nothing about that that can come in. So I want you to play around with affirmations, and I want you to say affirmations that actually work. So if you are down to 12 cents, not that my checkbook's ever been 12 cents. I can't imagine where that number comes from. Right? So if you guys are at that place to where you don't have that, but that's what you know you want it, and we all know it can happen. Okay, so from personal experience, I can tell you, energetically changing the way you think and feel about money is going to change the abundance in your life. Okay, it happened. From personal experience, I can tell you, the only thing I've done is change the way I felt about it, and it made a huge difference, okay? Now, obviously, you still want to go forward and work in your business, and you can't just sit back and imagine that your checkbook is, you still have to do the work, right? But do it from a place of grace. So, when you're doing the affirmations, if you want to say, I'm abundant, so everybody right now, let's just play with it.
We're going to be doing that too. We're going to be doing
Okay,
affirmations in relation to what you want to do.
Yeah, so it's a good way to fill your body. So just everybody take a minute, let's just kind of bring in white light, kind of get grounded. And I just want you to feel, if you say I'm abundant, how does it feel? And I need somebody to tell me. So if somebody will be a volunteer, just tell me, okay, how does it feel and where do you feel it?
I feel it in my head and in my heart.
Uh-huh.
I feel a lightness.
Okay. So it feels good to you?
Yeah.
Okay. Now if you did, okay, anybody else? Okay.
I feel like warm.
Okay.
Every time I say, I feel abundant.
Okay.
So I know I could share it with somebody else.
Okay. Does anybody not feel good with it?
I just feel it in my feet. I feel more grounded.
You feel more grounded? Is anybody,
I feel full.
okay,
I'm ignited.
okay,
Explosive. Excited.
okay,
Then I can help people.
right, okay. Now, are there millionaires in the room? Okay, it's okay. But here's what, okay, so the rest is like, most of us are not, like, we don't have $1 million in our bank account right now, right? So I want you to say, I am a billionaire, or I am a millionaire. And I want you to do the same thing and feel it in your body. Did anybody feel it reject?
I just didn't feel anything.
You didn't feel anything?
I actually, like, it was weird, I've never done that before, but I like projected in the future, I'm like, oh yeah.
There you go. Yay, that's awesome. I love that. So, but for most of us, and this is all going to be practice. And the reason I want you guys to feel it in your body is because I want you to know you have an internal guidance system. It is going to tell you if it's right or not. If you're trying to use an affirmation and you're using one that does not feel right in your body, it's not going to work. Okay? So if you can say, I'm abundant, and it feels good, then absolutely use that. Because abundance can mean many things. It can mean love, it can mean happiness, it can mean joy, there's all kinds of things it can mean. It doesn't have to be money. So that's why when you say, I'm abundant, it usually feels good. Because we're all abundant in something. You know, we all have either love or something, there's something that you can say, yes, I feel abundant. Okay, I want you to practice that same thing specific to money. Okay, because right now, today, we are talking about business, we're talking about money. Okay, because in order for our businesses to be successful, we have to make money. And I know people don't even like that word. Like, as a matter of fact, when I first found out I was going to speak on this, I pray about everything. And I was doing a meditation, like, okay, now what am I speaking on next? And they told me money, and I was like, are you crazy? Like, really? That's what I'm going to talk about is money. And they're like, you're going to talk on abundance and money and limiting beliefs surrounding that. And I went, okay, now I get it. The limiting beliefs I can understand. But I didn't feel like I was in the place where I should be talking to you guys about money. But the more I meditated on it and the more I understood what they wanted me to relay, is that it's energy, just like anything else, okay? So that's kind of off topic. But back to the affirmations. When you're using an affirmation, make sure it feels right to you. If you can't say I'm abundant, then say I am allowing abundance. If you can't say I have, $250,000 in my checkbook, then say I am allowing money and finances to come in. I am allowing money to flow freely to me. Right? So tweak the words a little bit. I don't know if that's taught anywhere with affirmations. If it is, I've never run across a teacher that teaches that. So I'm hoping this is something that you guys can take and really use. Does this feel right to anybody? Do you see what I'm talking about with the feeling of it and how it feels to you? If you see something that's not something that you can think, your body's going to reject it. Okay? So I think it's Albert Einstein that talks about imagination, right? If you can't imagine it, you can't have it. So if you can't imagine that you're a millionaire, you're never going to be a millionaire. So you've got to don't like force yourself into affirmations that don't work. Allow yourself to use affirmations that will work. And then as you get to I am abundant, then work into I am financially abundant. And then if that feels good, then work into the next level of, I am financially free or whatever it is. Like keep making your affirmations in line with you and don't stop when it gets comfortable, then go to the next level, right? Because the best thing we can do for the other women out there in the world that want to have a successful business and want to be self-employed and want to have time with their kids is for us to create that for ourselves. And then I had a really interesting story. Here's another really good money story, and you guys can tell me if you relate to this or not. I had a friend and I was covering for her while she was on a month-long vacation. And I had a gal at my house that came in, and she's a client, and I said, oh, I can't do the normal appointment, I need to switch it because I'm covering for my friend. And she goes, well, I thought you were covering for a couple weeks ago. I said, I was. And she goes, well, why are you still covering for her? I said, because she went on a month-long vacation. And she goes, well, what kind of friends do you have? And I laughed and I said, rich ones. And she immediately goes, well, I don't ever want to be rich like that because, and I looked at her and I said, well, I do. You know what I mean? And she probably didn't even realize that she was rejecting money, right? So how does that help anybody, right? To think, well, I don't want to be like that. So talking to her, I found out her limiting beliefs are rich people are mean, rich people lie and cheat, rich people don't care about anybody, right? So here I'm like, oh, why would you not want to be rich? What's wrong with you? And she's thinking, I'm not going to be like that because I do not want to be that kind of person. Right? So there was a really good limiting belief that I would have never thought of somebody having. Can anybody relate to that? Do you have something in you that's like, it blew my mind to even think that was what she would correlate with. And then I got to thinking about it. I thought there are a lot of people who think that rich people are awful people. Right? So really be honest and clear with yourself when you're thinking about things like this. Like, try to really open yourself up and be like, okay, what are my beliefs about money? And be honest, because the best way that you can get it out is if you're really honest about what's inside. Some of this stuff we won't even realize that we have, right? So I do neuro-linguistic programming as well as the energy work. Neuro-linguistic programming is all about the things we learn, and you would not believe the things that are imprinted in your brain from the time you're born until you're 7. And I love this. I used to not do daycare, but I did daycare since I was like, no, I'm just a stay-at-home mom, but everybody I knew wanted me to keep their kids, and so I'm like, I just let kids hang out with me. But I used to have all these little kids with me, right? And I have 2 of my own. And it drives me crazy when people say babies don't know what they're doing, because babies are so smart. And so from the time we're born until 7 is when our brains are the most, soaking it up. And those patterns, your life patterns, are in there whether you know it or not. So some of us have already realized, weren't born with a silver spoon and those kind of things. Be honest. when those things come up. Do you guys all meditate in here? Does everybody meditate? If you ever do a specific meditation to this and just ask that anything be revealed that you need to release, you might be surprised. There's an interesting one that, and this was an example that I had when I was actually doing my NLP training. 3-year-old little girl wants an ice cream cone. Dad yells at her, can't do it right now, we're not getting an ice cream cone, let's go. She internalizes that as, we don't have the money for ice cream. I'm not worthy enough to get an ice cream cone. Right? So all of her life, we don't have enough money, and I'm not good enough. May not have had anything to do with why Dad was in a hurry. You know, maybe mom's in labor and they're trying to get to the hospital. Who knows, right? But this little 3-year-old girl is thinking that she's not good enough and that there's not enough money for her to have an ice cream cone. I have stories like that in my history. That things that we don't even realize how we internalize them or how we bring in the energy, because again, words are energy. So how they're interpreted and how you're receiving those words is how it's going to make your money story. Is everybody feeling okay? Are you guys seeing kind of where I'm at? Is anybody having any good aha moments? Because I really want today to be like a breakthrough aha moment kind of day.
Oh, I've had a couple.
You had a couple? Do you want to share?
Yeah, actually, I would on one of them. I can relate to a lot of this. Being in a hurry growing up without a silver spoon. You know, my mom was pretty good about it. She never said we didn't have the money for it. She used to always say, well, if you want it bad enough, let's figure out a way to get it.
Good.
You know, and I say that to my children, you want it? There's 13 ways to get it. Let's figure out a way.
Right. Perfect.
So it was like, aha.
That's good for your mom.
But I hear, my husband saying, no, we don't have the money for that. And I was
Right.
like, no, we'll figure out a way. They want it. Maybe there's scholarships, maybe there's something.
Right.
But yeah, the words are energies.
Yes. So opening up to possibility, right? Because a lot of us automatically think, oh, that can't happen. Open up to the possibility that it can happen. Right? Does anybody else have something they want to?
Well, when you're talking about rich people are bad or whatever, that's a sort of a generalized thing we get, and I think a lot of them are, but some of them aren't. So it's just like,
Right.
But my mother very specifically believed that, and has told me this over and over. If you are helping people, if you're a healer, if you're somebody, whatever, if you're rich, you're bad. Like you're taking advantage of people.
Right.
So she used money dagger, and that guy is terrible because he's taking advantage of people because he's making money from helping them.
Right.
And I'm like, oh my
See,
God.
I love the fire.
I know. Me too.
What's coming to my mind is what I was told when I was growing up, as opposed to what maybe creeped in later on. So my mother always was, in a very lean time, she said, well, God takes care of the little birds, don't you think he cares?
Right.
For you, more for you. And she made fun out of it. It was like, it's Friday night and the check comes on Saturday morning and we need some gasoline and everybody scraped in their purses and we had 56 cents and in that day, in those days you could buy maybe 1 or 2 gallons of gas,
Right.
But, and then we laugh about it to this day.
Right.
And the affirmation that my father gave me was, you can do anything you want to do.
Right.
And I saw my dad make, I'm sure he was a millionaire many times over. I know he was. And then in my first marriage, I was married to someone that had a real tight interest on the money. And so it was like everybody hid the bills because it was scary. And so as I'm listening to what you're saying, I'm thinking about my daughter. And I hear her saying, oh, we can't afford that. Oh, we don't have enough money for that. Or, I'm hearing these words and I'm thinking, why does she say those things? That's not what I believe.
Yeah.
And then I had an aha that, oh my gosh, I know where she got it now. And I'm like, I gotta get out of here so I can go tell her stuff.
It's always about the belief that, money's not that important, not really in the bottom scheme of things in the whole picture, but it does rank somewhere between air and water.
Right.
And if you do, with diligence, you're going to get whatever, you're going to always be taken care of, and the money's going to come.
Right.
So it is an abundance mindset.
Yeah.
Because you just know it's there, it's going to come, you're going to be way more able to help others with what
money.
you are blessed with.
So, you know, I'm in a Bible study, and I tell these ladies, you know, money's not bad.
Right.
It's the love of money that's bad.
That's
Yeah, okay, so,
huge.
but
That's
it's
huge.
not the love of money if you're using it for the right thing.
But that's what I'm saying,
Yeah.
you know, because then in church, a missionary had asked me something, and so I'm pretty, you know, bold. I got up and I was like, money.
Yeah.
And so afterwards, I said, you know, to help out people in the mission field, you have to have somebody who has money.
Yes.
And that's why I said money.
So here's the thing, it's not that you love the green stuff, right? It's not that we love the paper. You don't want to put your love there, but you want to put your love into the result of the money, right? So again, it comes back to energy. I'm going to kind of jump from where I was. At the bottom of the thing, I just want you to say, and you guys, I'm sorry, I have a lot of sources. I pick stuff up here and there, so I try to always make sure that I quote where it came from, but if I don't know, it's just something important, so I want you to share. I don't intentionally ever not give you, the source. But somewhere I read, money does not have to, and I have this in a notebook, because I take notes all the time. Money may not be the most important thing in life, but it does affect the things that are important. Healthcare, right? How many people are, oh my God, I can't afford it for healthcare. Food, can't buy organic because it costs too much, right? Shelter, your house, right? So money's not important, and it's not that we love money per se, but we love what money can do. We love the energy of money, right? So, and that's another one, like the root of all evil, all that kind of stuff. It's been translated wrong, right? Okay, so I gotta get back on track now. Okay. Okay, let's see. Where are we at on time?
15 minutes.
15 minutes?
15 minutes.
Okay, so we're gonna I wanna do something really quick. And this hopefully this will be really, really revealing, because when I did this meditation, I'm trying to think when it was. I think it was an event with Don Todd, I can't remember. But again, it's just a really valuable thing. So we're gonna do a really quick meditation. And I'm hoping that you guys will share after. And if I have a really good story about it too, so hopefully we can all still have time to do that. Just take a deep breath for a minute. Everybody put your legs on the floor. Once you get really used to meditating, I don't care if you're crisscrossed or if you're curled under a blanket, you can meditate however. But for today, for the purpose of the money, let's just get kind of set up right and bring in the energy. So we're going to bring in the white light energy. Bring it all the way down through your body, all the way in through your legs and down through your feet. This is going to be kind of a quick one, okay? Get grounded into the earth. Let roots come out of your feet. And I want you to root down into the earth. And root down just as far as you can. Let the roots be whatever they want to be. They can be as thick, as long, as deep, as strong as you want them to be. And then when you connect with the earth, you'll feel that you get a little pulse of energy back. So you're supported from above and below. You've got the energy of above coming in with the energy from below. You're supported from above and below. And allow that energy to merge together and come to your heart. And then surround yourself in a little bubble. Okay? And now I just want you to imagine that there's an elevator and you're going to go up to this penthouse. And in this penthouse, so you're going up the elevator, it's like way up on the 12th floor, and it's just beautiful and brilliant. Everything in it is so clean and pristine and perfect. And there's this beautiful plush couch. And I want you to go in the kitchen, get a drink, water, wine, coffee, whatever you want. And you're going to get ready to go sit on the couch, but the doorbell rings. So you go answer the door, and standing at the door is money. And you're going to invite money in, and you're going to come and sit on this beautiful, brilliant, plush, white couch, and just sit with money. I want you to hear what it wants to tell you. I want you to feel how it wants you to feel. And just really take it in and see what money has to say. So we're gonna just bring movement back in our hands and feet and come back into the present moment because since we're limited on time, I really want to talk about this meditation. Was anybody surprised at what money looked like?
You know that little, I'm just a bill thing? He was a little guy and he had the feet and he came and sat down and he said money's fun.
Good. Money's fun. Good. Anybody else?
He changed. He was a like guy in a costume, but then it actually became an individual and said, "You need to go to business with me."
Perfect. Perfect. Anybody else?
Mine didn't say anything, but the picture out through the windows, because I visualized a place with windows, it actually turned into like the Italian seacoast.
Ooh.
Nice.
Because I love to travel.
Does anybody else want to share?
I walked in the door and realized he was at his own party because money was already there.
You guys are good.
So I envisioned that guy from the, I guess it's the insurance, where he's got all kinds of money just hanging off of him.
Good. You guys are awesome. Do you want to know what mine was? I opened this door and there was this gooey, nasty, oily, grimy yuck. I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? The first time I did this meditation, I did not realize in my head I still had programming that money's dirty. I didn't want money sitting with me on that couch. I was like, you're going to get this beautiful white couch dirty. And I'm like, okay, I know I'm supposed to love everybody, so I'm going to invite him in anyway. I'm going to invite him into my couch, even though I'm like, where's my couch? Get to the couch. Right? Did anybody have an experience like that? Or everybody was happy with money? You guys are golden. So I brought the money in, even though it was dirty and cleaned up, and I realized that as I was sitting there with money, it just wanted love. Money is just like anything else. The power of love is incredible, right? So if you can love your money, you can bring that love in. And I remember he's like, I just want to help you. And I remember thinking, I'm so sorry I judged you. I'm so sorry I judged you. And I gave Money a hug, even though he was nasty and dirty. And then when I came back from that hug, it was pristine. It was beautiful. It was crisp. Right? Money was good. All I had to learn was that I still had limiting beliefs for one, because I'd already been working on money beliefs. I thought I was doing really, really good. So when I did this meditation, I was like, what is this? This isn't what I thought money was. So somewhere deep inside me, I still had that belief that money was dirty. So I still had something. So, and you have to be super, super honest with yourself when you're doing this if you want to get past any beliefs. If you guys are not exactly where you are right now, if you're not right where you want to be with money, then either you're not looking at it or you're denying it. So if you want to get to the place to where you break through that, do that meditation again and be completely honest, be completely open, and allow yourself to be real about what's coming in. If you're already a millionaire, fantastic, let's be a billionaire. Right? Because the more we have, the more we can help other people. You know what my favorite thing is going to be? As soon as I'm in that place where I can give out money and not even care if it's going to affect my budget. And Girl Scout cookies are on my mind because they're everywhere, right? Have you ever seen those little girls that are out there and they're freezing their butts off? And they're trying to sell those cookies? The best thing would be is to go up and say, let me buy the whole table. Every box you've got, I want them. Let me do, and you guys go home and get in the warm stuff. Like, go get some hot chocolate. So not only am I going to buy your cookies, here's money to go get hot chocolate up there. Right? And then just pass out free cookies all day. How fun would that be?
Yeah, but what would that show them for a woman to walk up and be able to do
Right?
that?
Right? And to do it with that love and gratitude of, you guys, I am so proud of you for out here doing something that you believe in. And I want to reward you by buying them all. And I'm so proud of you now. Go have fun and buy yourself some hot chocolate.
So Jennifer, I actually did go buy 3 cases of, and that's how I got this belly. I ate them out, which I should have. I ate them.
Well, that's okay. But do you know what I mean? Like those kind of things, or like the homeless people that you see. I would love to just drop a $100 bill instead of a $5 bill, right? So think about the things that you can really do with money. We want to love money. We don't want to love money in the way that we've been taught that it's bad. We want to love money for the energy that it is and for what it can provide. And so I want you to open yourself up to the possibilities of it. We didn't even get through half of this, you guys. I'm so sorry. The steps you're going to take, or imagine, you've got to believe that you can have it. If you don't believe that you can have it, you're never going to have it. So you've got to believe for yourself that it's possible. By allowing yourself to open up to the possibility, you can release resistance. Okay? It's going to have a little bit to do with self-worth. So if you're having issues of not sure if you're worth it or whatever, the other thing that plays in today is that whatever you're selling. Okay? Like Donna was talking about, if you're a healer, sometimes it's really hard because you don't have a tangible product, so it's hard to know how to charge for it because it's an energy exchange instead of, like, here, let me give you this product, right? So make sure that what you're doing, you understand the value of it. Make sure you understand the value of yourself. Creative visualization. Do you guys do creative visualization? Does everybody know how to do that? Do that specific to money. I think we're really good at doing creative visualization for what we want our life to look like and what we want to bring in, and like if we want a certain kind of car, we can do creative visualization for that, but I don't know very many people who do it specifically for money. Does anybody do it specific for money? Okay, so make sure if that's not something that you do, allow that to be a part of your creative visualization. Okay, focus on what you want. Pay attention to your thoughts. This is discipline. Okay, this is just shut that nasty little mean girl up. So when you want to say something, you're like, oh yeah, what are you thinking? Why would you do that? Shut up. We're not listening to you anymore. And then I like to go, this, you're gonna know how old I am, Control-Alt-Delete, right? Because that's what we used to have to do to release it. Control-Alt-Delete. Get rid of that and reprogram it with, I'm abundant. I can do this. I can find a way. I have the possibility. I'm allowing money to come in. I'm allowing abundance. Whatever you want to replace it with, but don't let that nasty little mean girl. So the discipline is focusing on what you want and paying attention to your thoughts. Meditation is really, really good because in meditation you can reprogram because there's not as much resistance because you're in that place of flowing energy and you're in that place of calm and you can program your thoughts easier there and you can be real about releasing there, okay? So use meditation for sure. And then I want you to actually get really clear on, do you want to be rich? Nobody said yes. Do you want to be rich?
Yes!
Okay, so then if you want to be rich, that's great, but now what does rich look like? What is rich? Right? Because my idea of rich and your idea of rich might be different. Mine might be 100,000, yours might be 100 million.
It could not even mean financial. It could be
It
another
could
way.
not. You're right. And everything that I'm talking about, you guys, it really applies to anything. Love, feeling, vacation, it doesn't matter what it is. These principles work for absolutely everything, which is it's all about how you think and how you feel and energy and the way you think. So then if you want to be rich, okay, what does that look like? What does it represent to you? Okay, because today I'm talking specifically on money. Get really, really clear on what you think and how you feel about money. Okay? When you do that, I want you to think about when you sit down and do the planning and you're trying to figure out what you want your budget to look like and how much money you want to bring in for the year. Don't just think, okay, I want this amount of money. Stop and really bring it in. What's it going to feel like to have that kind of money? What's it going to look like? Who's it going to affect? How's my day going to be? What emotions am I going to have? Take in everything you can, as much sense and sight and sound and smell and feeling, and then feel it in your body as if it's already there. And when you can do that, you'll be amazed how fast it comes in. Okay? Am I over?
1 minute.
Woo, 1 minute. Woo, I did it! We went through it really fast, but we're good. So that being said, there's a few just quotes at the bottom of your page that hopefully they just stood out to me, so I wanted to bring those for everybody. And I hope you guys, question?
I just wanted to share something really quick that might help people kind of restructure their thinking about money. I trained a little bit with T. Harv Eker. He's the author of The Millionaire Mind.
Yep.
And he always said, it stuck in my head, that money only makes you more of who you already are.
Oh, that's beautiful.
So when you think about yourself wanting more money and what you can bring to the table, it just enables you to be more of that.
Right.
And sure, there's more people that, that are egotistical and just they're more arrogant, right?
Right.
That happens too, but we're all different.
But we don't have to be that way.
But just think, if you know in yourself and in your heart that you are a certain way and more money just comes into your experience, you are going to become more of that.
Yeah. And I think the big thing for women, okay, so here, after speaking that, that's absolutely true, and that's hopefully kind of what I've conveyed a little bit throughout the day, is that you can do so much more if you have more money. And it's not a dirty word, so we need to get past that. But as women, we tend to block it. So don't block it. Like how many times has somebody come up and, oh, let me do this for you. No, I got it. I can handle it by myself. No, I don't need it, it's okay, thanks. Right? So every time you do that, it relates to money as well.
What was the name of that?
T. Harbecker.
T.
Harv.
Harv Ecker.
H-A-R-V.
Ecker.
E-C-K-E-R.
Yeah, The Millionaire
A
Mind.
Millionaire Mind.
Okay,
Great
and
book.
then that book that you were talking about, Daniel or Don, or you really liked him?
Oh, Dr. Dyer.
Dr. Dyer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wayne Dyer.
Who just passed.
Yes, but he's so cool.
Yeah.
I can talk
He's
to him more
amazing.
now. I love it. So anyway, okay, does anybody have any more questions? Because now I'm over time. Did everybody find that value? I really want to know your feedback. Like, did anybody have aha moments?
Yeah.
Okay, are you ready for it to be a breakthrough kind of day?
Yes.
So ready for that. Okay, so I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm done now. We've got a little break, so everybody can kind of reset. And I hope you guys got something good out of that.